Happy
Sorry.
Friday. That was a mess.
Yeah, today is one of those days where everything that can go wrong did frickin' go wrong.
It's all right. So it's like mainly my fault because yesterday I did a photo shoot for my daughter and our niece, and I had all of our lights out in the garage, to do the photo shoot. So anyway, he had to set all of that up. Happy Friday, guys. Welcome to the Friday Bean. Let us know if it's your first time here, if you're hanging out with us because you saw this article that Etsy published on Wednesday about titles. I know that there's been quite a few questions. Hopefully, I swear those aren't boxers. Those are regular shorts.
They are shorts.
They look like underwear. Anyway, I swear that we're gonna get to all of your questions. I think that after I've had a chance to talk to our team over at eRank. If you're new here, I'm a manager at eRank. Our CEO Anthony Wolf and me and Pam and Brian, who are often over on the eRank YouTube channel, we all work at eRank. But we sat and had a discussion this morning. We had a discussion yesterday with me and Pam going through the article. If you guys tuned into the eRank live stream, you probably caught a lot of the same things that we're going to be discussing today. The main thing that I want to focus on, though, is making sure that we are stomping out misinformation, because what's going to happen over the next few days is YouTube is going to be alight with tons of Etsy YouTubers and gurus and people, right, who are going to try to come on and tell you all the things that they think that they know, and that they think that this is how it is, and this is what's happening, and you got to change all this ASAP, and yada, yada, yada. And most of that is completely untrue. So we're going to cover what we know so far, and what we're doing to make sure that there's nothing that we have missed. Obviously, when it comes to actually getting a hold of Etsy and contacting them and speaking to them directly, it gets a little bit more complicated. However, we do have now a person at eRank. We have an Etsy person who we can talk to now. If you've got like a suspended account or something like that, we don't have a person who can do that, but there's somebody who is more on the kind of like developmental side who can answer these harder questions and make sure that we're doing everything that we need to. So Anthony is currently in cahoots with that person to make sure that there's nothing that we've missed. But so far, everything that we present to you today is going to be based on what we know, what we're reading, and how we're perceiving it based on what we're seeing. So the first thing that I'm going to go ahead and do, if you guys don't mind, and we'll get to questions after this.
Goodness.
If you've got questions, please just hold on for a little while, because I have a feeling that a lot of your questions will be answered during the session.
Man, if you hated my keyboard before, you're going to hate it now.
I know, I can't even see the numbers in it. Okay, so down in the video description, if you would like to follow along with us, you can. One thing I will say is that if you are not in the US, your article is going to have some parts that look a little bit different. Telemarketer. Don't you know how don't you understand, telemarketer, how important this is? When it comes to Etsy SEO.
T.
Oh, yes, your T. Sorry. They're calling me back.
Give me your phone.
Go answer.
I'm going to.
Say something mean. Make them feel bad about their life choices.
Hey, idiot, how you doing?
Hey, did you guys hear that? Anyway, so the article is down below if you want to follow along. I did take a screenshot of one of the incongruencies between the UK article and the one that I will be sharing with you guys today. So this is the article that's causing all of the panic. Again, it was just published on Wednesday. Let's see if I can make this a little bigger for you guys. So this sounds really scary, right? New guidance for listing titles and a tool to help. Before we even get into this, I want to start by saying that from everything that we have seen, everything that we have gone over, all of the discussions, that we've had with Anthony, we've read over the entire article. Pam has found some language in here that will support what I'm about to tell you. But the main thing that I want you to remember over the next few days as different YouTubers start publishing their content about this article is that the Etsy algorithm has not changed.
Half our audience about to drop off.
Write that line down. The Etsy algorithm has not changed. Say it together. The Etsy algorithm has not changed. It hasn't changed. I've had a bunch of questions of when does this go into effect? When is eRank going to update based on this? The Etsy algorithm has not changed. We are following up with Etsy to make absolutely sure that this is the case. But from everything that we have read here, the Etsy algorithm has not changed. So I'm going to go over why we believe with almost certainty that it hasn't changed. Only what this is more of further clarification of how Etsy has been working. So what you don't need to do, and I'm saying this now so that if you decide you don't want to stay for the full stream, you don't go ruin all your listings. You do not need to go into Etsy and change all your listing titles. In fact, if you do that, you're probably going to hurt your listings really bad. Don't do that. And you do not need to change your best-selling items. You shouldn't do that anyway. If Etsy, unless Etsy tells you, hey, you have to change this or you are going to get in trouble, you shouldn't change your tags and titles of anything that's selling well. So let's go ahead. Now that the main points, algorithm hasn't changed, and you don't need to worry about changing anything if you've got listings that are performing well, let's go get into what this is, and then we will make sure that we answer questions and yada yada.
Anna said, we all know Mark wears Speedos instead of underwear. Joke's on you. I don't wear underwear.
Now everybody's going to leave, and they're not going to learn about
I
SEO.
Don't care. Let them leave.
Let them leave.
It's my body.
He's
I'll do with it what I want.
He's weaning off his medication today, so he's extra zesty.
I stopped taking my SSRIs on Monday, and it's the best decision I've ever made.
Except he's very spicy.
Sometimes I'm also very sad.
Okay, so we are introducing updated guidance for effective listing titles and a new tool to help you make them buyer-friendly and search-ready. Updated guidance. This is not, we are introducing a new algorithm. Our algorithm has changed. This is updated guidance for how they want our titles, okay? So we got to be really, really, we got to scrutinize the language that Etsy uses in order to figure out what they actually mean. So, let's see. We're always refining and improving our search system. We know that. Last year, we introduced the search visibility page, which is in your Etsy dashboard that talks about some of the factors that contribute to how listings might appear in search, looking at shoppers' feedback and behavior so they can adjust their algorithms and make sure that, things are lining up with how shoppers shop. But then today, which, Wednesday, we're sharing updated guidance for what makes a great listing title to help you write clear, buyer-friendly titles that also help you to reach relevant buyers in search results. If you're in the UK, this will be worded a little bit differently, but basically the same gist. We're also introducing a new optional tool that uses your current listing information to recommend titles that match this guidance and help you to update multiple listings at once. So I'm kind of fishy about this new tool thing. And I'll talk about why in a few minutes. Let me know in the chat if any of you have the new Etsy listing title AI thing. I don't. Nobody on the eRank team has noticed it. But if you're editing a listing, let me know if you have it. And let me know, whereabouts you live, what country you're in. Just so I can see if maybe we can figure out who has it. Okay, so why clear titles matter? We know this. We've been talking now and I think Pam said, 2018 is when they told us to stop keyword stuffing our titles and start using clear, concise sentences. In terms of the algorithm hasn't ever really cared either way. It's just, it's just looking at the keywords that you're using and trying to figure things out. But in terms of Etsy's best practices, they want us to write these clear, easy to scan titles because they're more shopper friendly. Etsy over the last year, they've gotten rid of several million sellers who were drop shipping, Temu, Alibaba, mass produced junk. Now they want to try to get their sellers using titles that make sense, that don't look like those ugly eBay, Temu, keyword stuff titles that you can't read, right? And Etsy's also been obviously incorporating AI into the algorithm to be able to understand what a listing is without you having to think of, a gazillion different words for cup. So buyers tell us that clear, easy to scan titles help them to feel more confident when browsing and choosing what to buy, because it helps you to understand what the item is and it doesn't look so scammy and gross. And when an item is unique or handmade, it can be hard to balance sharing important details with reaching a wide audience in search. So obviously you want to try to use a bunch of keywords to reach a wide audience. In the past, Etsy search placed heavy emphasis on the title, pushing some sellers to pack in keywords. This often leads to longer, harder to read titles that make it more difficult for buyers to shop confidently. Etsy's not saying you don't have to have long, or that you can't have long titles anymore. They're just saying that often when you keyword stuff your titles, it often leads to longer, harder to read titles. Why should I update my listing titles now? You shouldn't. But we'll humor Etsy for a minute. Our search system has evolved to take a more holistic view of your listing, including your title, tags, attributes, descriptions, which descriptions we'll talk about this in a few minutes as well, your first photo, and even reviews to help connect your items with the right buyers. Now, I want to stop right here because a lot of people are like, "Oh, Etsy's looking at the keywords in our reviews. Etsy's looking at the alt text in our first photo. Etsy's looking at our first photo." A holistic view means that Etsy's looking at multiple angles. And in our minds, when we think of search ranking, we think of keywords. Keywords are just one very, very small part of the equation. So when Etsy says your descriptions, we have known for over a year now, based on Etsy's X head of search, not the head of Google search, his name's Ratish, but their X head of internal search, his name was Andrew Stanton. He doesn't work at Etsy anymore, but I've got a video. I actually just showed it to our CEO at eRank, Anthony Wolf, this morning, where he specifically says that descriptions they are not used for query matching. What does that mean? It means that Etsy is not looking for the same keyword consistency in your title, tags, and descriptions. They utilize your descriptions for context to help with the personalization factor of Etsy search. Because if I search for something on Etsy and you search for something on Etsy, we're each going to see completely different search results based on things like localization and preferences and, things I've shopped for in the past and things you've shopped for in the past. And descriptions just help to get that shopper one step closer to finding an item that they are actually, interested in purchasing. So maybe, something you could say, this beautiful clock could fit perfectly into a mid-century modern home. Well, maybe the clock isn't mid-century modern, but if you mentioned it, maybe somebody who has a preference towards mid-century modern items, maybe Etsy's more likely to recommend your clock to them if they decide that they want a clock, but they don't specify that they want mid-century modern. First photo, this is included in that new search visibility page. This doesn't mean that you need to do anything with your photos if your listings are doing good. All this means is that Etsy's identified that if your photo is blurry or not great, customers might be less likely to click on it. And clicks and engagement with a listing help that listing to rank higher in search because it tells Etsy that people are actively interacting with this listing. Good photo equals more clicks, equals more engagement, equals more potential to buy, more favorites. But basically, Etsy can decide, okay, people are clicking on this really nice photo, but this photo over here that's a little blurry, nobody's clicking on it. Maybe we rank the blurry photo down in search. So that's all that means. And even reviews. This has always been a factor in our ranking. If a listing gets good reviews, it's not about keywords in the reviews. If a listing gets good reviews, Etsy's going to show that listing to more people searching for similar items because Etsy made money and you made money when that listing sold. So, making sure that people who like this item, if this item has a lot of good reviews, Etsy's going to show it to more people because it's a sure thing, right? So that's titles, tags, attributes, we know that stuff. But descriptions, first photo, and reviews, I just wanted to elaborate on those to make sure that you guys understand what that means. They're not looking for keywords in your, in your reviews, and they're not looking for keywords in your description. There's a lot to pack in here. So this means that while your title is still an important part of your listing and can impact both search results and buyer conversion, it doesn't need to do all of the work. If you're in the UK, this is a much shorter sentence. You can focus on clarity and relevance in your listing titles while moving other key details into listing tags, descriptions, and attributes like styles and occasions and who it's for and things like that. This will help you to show up to interested buyers more easily and also help them to feel more confident about making a purchase. And Anthony put in a good point. He said that it might be harder for the algorithm if you've got a listing title that's like beautiful, lovely, wonderful, pretty table doily. It might be hard for Etsy to figure out that it's a table doily if you've got beautiful, lovely, wonderful, pretty, all this fluff in there. So, what makes a great listing title? This is their new guidance, which better reflects the evolution of search as well as the feedback that we've gotten from buyers over the years. So again, it's not necessarily a big sudden algorithm change. This is the same algorithm that we've all been dealing with for a long while now. So clearly state the item for sale, like a mug or a dress. I sure hope you're doing that. I sure hope that if you're selling a mug, you're calling it a mug. Include the most important traits up front, like the item's color, material, and size. Now, you might notice a little contradiction here because Etsy tells us that in color, when it comes to an item's color, we don't need to repeat things from our attributes. So if you fill out those little drop-down menus in your listing, you don't need to repeat things from your attributes into your title and tags. But, Pam and I were talking about it yesterday during the eRank live stream, and you can get really specific if you can write the color out yourself, whereas Etsy only gives you a couple options. So maybe you make, you make cool emo t-shirts, because my kids, apparently the emo craze is back. I was a little emo kid when I was in high school, so it's kind of funny seeing her into it. But let's say you make like a black, and hot pink neon theme t-shirt. Well, you can pick colors like black and pink, but what if you really want to make sure that you're getting like fluorescent pink, neon pink? That might be an occasion where you want to make sure that your item's color is right in the title. Material and size. So streamline for clarity and scannability. This has kind of always been the case. You gotta sit and read your title out loud, and if it just sounds like a bunch of gobbledygook, you should probably work on it, as long as that listing isn't already selling. If the listing's doing well, obviously don't touch it, no matter what. Now here's something interesting. It's the first time that Etsy's actually used a specific number. I don't think that this number indicates a like a hard cut, or after you use more than 15 words you're gonna see a decrease in visibility. I don't think that's the case. I think that they just gave us a ballpark. Consider using less than 15 words when including the traits that make your item special. If you've said what your item is and then you used 15 words to describe that, that doesn't sound like a short title to me at all. That sounds like 15 words is a lot of words. I would be shocked if you could even fit 15 words into your full Etsy title.
I'll make it fit.
Are you just now joining us, Mr. Moore?
I've been talking to people in the chat.
Okay. This is the big one, okay? This is the big change. What happened?
What just happened?
It got dark.
Oh. You're fine. Keep going.
Only include holidays, special occasions, or recipient types if they're essential to what the item is, like birthday candle, Halloween costume, Happy Mother's Day card, I don't know, bar mitzvah banner. You know what I mean? If it is essential to what the item is, then putting the recipient is okay. But they don't want you to put things, and this is the major change. It's not that they don't want you to or you're going to be penalized for it, but it is unnecessary to add a term like gifts for mom, Christmas gifts for grandma, great gifts for dad, 15th wedding anniversary gift, unless it's like a 15-year wedding anniversary card that says happy 15-year wedding anniversary, then that would be, essential to what the item is. Does that make sense? So you don't have to, like a bunch of my listings, I do bookish merch. We're officially licensed by authors. I no longer would need to put gifts for readers in my title. I could put it in my tags instead. It wouldn't be necessary for me to add it to my title. I'm not changing a thing. I'm not touching nothing. I'm going to experiment and I'll let y'all know if I notice anything. But I'm not touching anything because my listings, I mean, I've got items that are selling relatively well right now. I'm just going to let things go and see what happens. But again, this is not like you're going to be penalized if you have these terms in your title. It's just saying it's not really necessary to have them in there. And then you can move subjective words like perfect or beautiful to the description. So you don't need to call your listing, which you shouldn't do this anyway, a beautiful necklace or a perfect gift for mom. Beautiful. I don't know. If you've got a t-shirt that says, beautiful mom on it, that's okay. You can put the word beautiful in your title because your shirt says like beautiful mom, for example, or perfect uncle. If you've got like something with a quote and the word perfect or beautiful, fits what the item is, that makes sense. But you don't need to just say, beautiful opal necklace. You don't have to use words like that, which you shouldn't be using words like that anyway, because I doubt anyone's searching for a beautiful opal necklace. They're just searching for an opal necklace.
What if I want an ugly opal necklace?
See, exactly. Try not to repeat words. How long have we been saying this? It's not necessary to repeat words over and over again. We've known this forever. I call it out pretty much during every single critique session we do. And sometimes you have to. Sometimes it only makes sense if you do. But it's a try not to repeat words. And don't worry about adding info about price, shipping, or sales. Etsy takes care of this by badging your items in search. There's going to be a part later on in just a few minutes, but I want to go ahead and touch on it now, where Etsy actually says remove immediately anything about when it comes to like your title, putting the price or shipping or, on sale, free shipping. You don't need to write those words in your title. It's not necessary. And now Etsy's saying to remove them immediately. So honestly, that's the only change I would tell you guys to make to your listings, is because they use the word immediately. I would remove, if you've put, on sale, free shipping, yada, yada, in your listing titles, I would remove that stuff. And I don't think it's going to have any impact on your search placement because you're likely not ranking or getting a bunch of traffic from the use of those words anyway. Now, obviously, be slow, be careful, keep an eye on things just in case, stuff happens. But even Anthony, our CEO at eRank, agreed. Why is there Velcro stuck to your desk?
Shouldn't be stuck. I didn't know the back was off of it.
I know. I was looking.
They probably took it off one of my guitar pedals to put the new Velcro on.
I was looking at your beautiful wood desk and seeing something stuck to it.
I just spent way too much time building a pedal board, and there's going to be Velcro and stickies everywhere.
So this is the new guidance for listing titles. And it's kind of hard to just look at this and take it at face value, because everybody's going to have specific instances and things where, but my listing, this is why I said don't panic about it. So, like a dress, a mug, a table, nouns to describe your item. Keep it in the title. Yes, absolutely. If your items address a mug, a table, make sure that you say those words. You want to clearly state what the item is. Objective descriptors. Neon pink, extra large, reclaimed wood. These are things that make your product special, right? So keep those in the title. Include the top three most critical descriptors for the category, like color, material, size, as well as other key information that sets your item apart. So the things that make it, maybe it's you use vegan leather, natural ingredients, cruelty-free, reclaimed wood, recycled paper, all these, terms that make the item unique. Aspirational and gifting keywords and phrases. So gifts for him, birthday present, personalized gift. Etsy saying you don't need those in your titles anymore. Avoid the repetition of aspirational or gifting keywords and phrases, which is funny because when they introduced gift mode a year ago,
they literally said to.
They told us to go into all our listings and add gift-related terms to them. So it's kind of funny that now they're directing us the other direction.
Yep.
Subjective descriptors like beautiful, perfect, wonderful. Unless your item, again, says beautiful mom. It's a shirt that says beautiful mom, then yeah, you could have beautiful mom in the title. But otherwise, move it to your tags or attributes. How the item is sold. So words like on sale, free shipping. I thought it said move immediately. Maybe it's completely. Remove completely from listings. Again, Etsy kind of hinted at this. Was it during their last quarterly report? They said to not... Or no, there was an update where they said to remove these terms.
I can't remember specifically.
Yeah, but they told us to get those out of there. And again, these aren't leading you to more people. People aren't searching for words like this. Unnecessary repeated words or phrases. So you don't need to say like, your title doesn't need to say unisex adult poncho, unisex cotton poncho, unisex kids poncho, unisex red poncho. You don't need to say the same words over and over. So you can repeat or remove those repeat phrases if you choose so to. Again, don't touch listings that are doing well. Don't rush and change all your listings at once. The algorithm hasn't changed. Etsy's just telling us, ways that we might be able to make our titles better. So here's some examples, and they're really bad. No, one of them's good. So if your title, this sounds exactly like something that we would critique here on the Friday Bean. If your title is dad t-shirt, father shirt, personalized Father's Day gift, personalized dad t-shirt, dad statement shirt, father shirt with kids' names.
But who's it for?
I thought you were serious for a minute.
No, yeah, I'm that dumb. It only says dad and father like 15 times.
You could instead just say personalized 100% cotton dad t-shirt, custom kids' names, small to XL. That's an awful title, but, it doesn't even say what's on the dad shirt. Does it just say dad? I don't know. But, and somebody had noticed they said, oh, Etsy didn't use a comma. They used a colon. It doesn't matter what you use. Etsy's not telling you to use colons.
It's called a delimiter.
Yeah, you can use whatever you want. It doesn't matter. Etsy doesn't care. This one is a little better. So, moonstone ring, mini ring, solid gold, perfect for women's wedding engagement daily wear band. See, when you read that out loud, it doesn't sound like anything. A better title would be Celestial Blue Moonstone Ring, 9-carat solid gold band. Perfect. It reads nice. It's separated out well. It's got some good keywords. Pam did say that if this is an engagement ring, though, like maybe this isn't an engagement ring and that's why this word was removed. But if it's an engagement ring, they should have put Celestial Blue Moonstone engagement ring because that's a type of ring. But I won't judge you, Etsy. And then the last example, on sale, birthday bandana, happy birthday, birthday dog bandana, birthday cat bandana, birthday bones, birthday pet present.
You got me a gift on my birthday for my birthday with the birthday gift?
With the birthday gift on my birthday, got my birthday. Let us know if you know what that's from. Instead, birthday bones, cotton dog bandana. Easy slip over the collar. So they've got even like a feature of the product in the title. So I don't think anybody's specifically searching for easy slip over the collar, but you know, it's a well-structured title. Okay, so there's another part here, that a whole paragraph, if you're in the UK, that we don't have in the US for some reason. And it says, while removing certain keywords from your title supports readability, don't forget to move them to your listing's attributes, tags, and descriptions to help them appear in relevant searches on Etsy and external platforms. Attributes, which are the little drop-down menus, you know, they've moved them all the way to the bottom of the listing now when you're filling it out, but they used to be at the top. Attributes power filters and search engines and often appear as highlights on your listing. Tags are helpful when there's no matching attribute and are great for aspirational or buyer-minded search terms like gift for her. And descriptions are scanned by Etsy search to understand what your item is. Again, that's kind of a... they're not saying that they're looking for keywords. They're looking to understand what your item is. They're looking for that context, like we said previously. If you missed the beginning of the stream, make sure you rewatch, because I had a whole spiel about descriptions and how to do them. So a new tool to easily update your listing titles. This is where Mama gets a little sus.
Mama gets a little sus.
To help make it easier and faster to apply this new guidance, we've created an optional AI-powered tool that suggests updated listing titles.
Yeah, and Kim said those new suggested titles are kind of booty.
Yeah,
they're not great.
Suggests updated listing titles using your current title, first photo, and description. You can quickly update one or many listings at the same time, which is about the only thing that I think is useful about this so far, but I haven't played with it, so I can't say much. Or accept our suggestions or customize them to fit your style with real-time feedback to guide your edits. You can also skip our suggestions altogether and write your own updated titles from scratch. It's up to you. Try it out and see what works best for your listings. So, here's what I want to say about this so far. And I talked to our CEO at eRank about it this morning, because over at eRank, we have an AI listing helper. And the AI listing helper also does this. You can just give it a brief, couple of words to describe what your item is. And it'll generate you an idea for a title, an idea for a description, and an idea for some tags. Here's the thing about AI, because this tool is likely powered by ChatGPT, OpenAI, as is the eRank listing AI tool. They are not tied to keyword data. Now, in Etsy's defense, they could tie it to their keyword data because they have their own keyword data. Like they know, they just don't share it with anybody. They could tie it to keyword data. If anybody's got it, let me know. But for the most part, it seems like this is just a generic ChatGPT style generated title. And because of that, there's no guarantee, despite the fact that the title might look good and be relatively descriptive, there's no guarantee that the keywords that Etsy assigns to these titles are keywords that people are actively searching for. So with that in mind, be very, very careful when you use this. You should be careful when you use the one on eRank as well, because it's, again, we're not giving you any keyword data behind the terms that are being generated. We're just, it's just plugged into standard ChatGPT. But just be careful, do some keyword research, maybe use it as a springboard to get ideas, but I would take these keywords in that it suggests before you publish any listings and do a double check. Also, this whole go through and update all of your listings at the same time, don't do that. That's not a scientific way to make updates. If you were to make one update, if you've got 100 listings and you update one, and it's a bad change and it hurts that listing and you lose all your visibility for it, hey, it sucks, but it's not really that big a deal. You got 99 other listings that you didn't ruin. If you go in and you update all of them, all 100, or even 50 of them, and the updates that you make don't help your listing, you run the risk of literally tanking your holiday traffic right before the holiday season. That is why I am so nervous that Etsy released this article right before the holidays.
Yeah, it was a bad time.
Because at the bottom, let's see. Before you make any updates, Download a CSV of your listings. You can use it to reference keywords from your original titles and update your tags, descriptions, or attributes as needed. So they're even telling you, like, hey, before you make any changes, like, make sure you download a CSV of your listings so you can see what your keywords in your titles were before you removed them. We've got this tool over at eRank. I told Anthony and Pam and Brian today that I don't even know very many people who can open and read a CSV. Have you ever just opened a CSV file of data?
Like, if you don't have the software for it, it's just going to be jumbled garbage. It's not going to mean anything to you.
Right. You could download it and export it as a spreadsheet.
Most Windows computers and MacBooks come with software that reads it for free. To be fair, but if you're the kind of person that's had a computer for like 5 or 10 years and you've never installed like Microsoft Office or Open Office or something, like, you're not going to be able to open it.
I worry about my non-techie grandmas. Like, I've got a group, of non-techie grandmas who, and I mean, chime in if you're one of the non-techie grandmas who, don't know how to do this. I mean, Etsy didn't give any guidance on how to do it. But again, over at eRank, our track changes tool, just go in and track listings before you make a change. We actually, was it last week that we reviewed all the eRank tools, or was it the week before? Last week was tariffs.
I can't remember. Last week was tariffs, so it was the week before.
Yeah, the week before. Go watch that live stream, and I actually show you how to do that. But it will basically show you a daily snapshot of your listing. So if you take and you track a listing before you make a change, then you'll be able to see what your old title was, what your old tags were, and you can see how the edits to your listing affected your views, favorites, and sales. And if you discover that it's like, oh no, it's hurting my listing, like I made these changes that Etsy told me to make, and now my listing is doing really bad, you can just go back in and fix it, because we'll store that data for you, and you can see what your old title was and your old tags were. And you can see how exactly, like, where the new, if the day that you made the change, and how the review or how the views, favorites, and sales changed based on the update that you made. Obviously, make sure you're running the latest version of the Etsy seller app. Yeah. I wouldn't recommend doing your Etsy SEO in the seller app. I mean, unless you have no other choice. And then the tool offers suggestions for English language listing titles that could benefit from this new guidance. It will become available to sellers with eligible listings over the coming days, and will notify you when the tool is live for your shop. So I don't have it yet. I looked today. There is a little thing in my Etsy that it's right by your title. There's like a little question mark, and I'll switch this back to me. It's like a little question mark right beside your title, and you click it and it'll open up a little box that basically says a lot of this same stuff. So, again, if you missed the beginning, here's the gist of it. The algorithm, we're saying this with like a 99% certainty, but we do have a contact at Etsy that we're getting with just to make sure. And if I'm wrong, I'll come on here next week and I'll tell you about how wrong I was.
Or as soon as we get a hold of that person.
And I'll make a big video about it, and I'll say, I was wrong, and, but we're like...
do this and that.
Right. I reviewed it. Anthony Wolf, our CEO over at eRank, reviewed it. Pam reviewed it. Brian reviewed it. We all reviewed it. And like I said, 99% certainty that nothing's changed. So all these posts that you will probably see on Facebook of when's the deadline? When's this going to take place? Oh no, my views tanked after the algorithm update. There wasn't an algorithm update. It's just, there's no deadline.
Catch wording.
There's no deadline to do it. It's just clarified guidance on the things that we technically should have been doing anyway. So don't panic. If your listings are performing well, don't change them. But if you're listing something new, or if you want to experiment with what they're saying, I'm going to test. I always test. I'm not.
Why wouldn't you?
You should definitely still test. Make a copy of one of your listings that does well. Just go in, go in the back end, click copy listing, make a copy of it. That way your good one, your good listing can stay and sell, and, nothing will happen to it. But then you have a copy of that listing. Just make sure you monitor your inventory so you don't sell out of, but have the copy of that listing, and then write a new title for it. Try what they're saying and see, compare the stats for yourself. I think what we're all going to end up seeing is that the listings, if you've got gift for readers, gift for Christmas, yada yada in your title, you're not going to see a negative effect from it. I don't think that Etsy is going to decrease visibility based on these things. They just want Etsy to look a little cleaner. And honestly, we've been saying this for years. Like, you can get a lot of keywords in your title and still make your title look pretty darn clean by doing that. So yeah, that's the gist of it. And when I first scheduled this stream, I was actually in a bit of a tizzy myself, because I scheduled this literally right when they sent out this article. And I even told Mark, like, right when I saw it, I'm like, Etsy changed the algorithm. When I actually scheduled this stream, I was careful about how I worded the title because I wasn't sure yet.
The implications of that for us are huge, because we have a course and other things that we're recording, and like,
I still got to re-record a bunch
stuff.
of stuff.
Yeah, I was about to say stuff that she literally just recorded for a project that we're working on that has to be re-recorded. So like, if an actual algorithm change happens, just know that like, we're on top of it as hard as we can be, as fast as we can be, because it affects us financially, like directly. So
I was so just flabbergasted when the article came out that Mark and I were working at a coffee shop, and I planned to come home from the coffee shop and do more work, and I'm just like, I gotta step away. For the day. Like, I need to walk away because I had just recorded this massive project that I'm working on, and I'm in the process of editing this massive project, and one core piece of the project now is out of date, but I thought it was going to be a lot more. So I was having having chest pains. I was panicking because I just got all that recording done, and I've been literally working on this for like 3 months. So, which is that is not Starla boo-hooing. You guys, would have had, if it really would have changed, if it would have been an algorithm change, you guys would have had to do way more work with going through and editing all your listing titles.
And by the way, if you guys have questions, go ahead and get those in. I didn't want to read questions through the middle, because 9 times out of 10 it's stuff you're about to address so there's no point in interrupting you. So if you guys have questions, even if they were questions you asked and they didn't get answered above, I'm not going to go up and read questions. I want to make sure you guys are still even here. They do not have to be relevant to the topic at hand. We have enough time that we can do a general Q&A here, but we'll answer anything.
I'm assuming that you guys probably do have some questions about all this. I did want to show real quick, just while they're getting a couple questions in.
Sure. I'm a little late. What is the change? Go rewatch the video.
I can't repeat almost an hour worth of material.
Rewatch the video.
It'll replay. You can either drag it to the beginning and watch from the beginning, or
you can wait till the end and then drag it.
Yeah. Okay, can you share the screen just real quick? So I don't have the new tool yet. This is mine and Michelle's shop that we use. We do all of our experiments here. I'm going to be doing some experiments as well to see, if there's anything screwy that we notice. But I don't have that new tool, the new AI title tool. But we do have this now. This title recommendations include the most important features up front, like color, material, or size. Use words that clearly describe what the item is. Try not to use descriptions like beautiful or perfect. Try not to have more than one repeated word. Don't mention holidays or special occasions like birthday present or gifts for him. Adding info about pricing, sales, and shipping isn't necessary. And try adding words as tags instead. So this is, oddities and curiosities. Tumbler, 20 ounce, and then a pipe. Snakes and Skulls Gothic Halloween mug with lid. So, this is a relatively long title, but, it's got decent keywords in there. So, again, it's not about, like, title length. And, we during the earring stream had somebody else ask, like, oh, so we no longer have to worry about getting to all 140 characters? That's never been a thing. That's a bad YouTuber telling people to do that. Oh, you have to have exactly 140 characters, or the closer you can get to 140 characters, the more likely you are to rank in search. That's not true. That's never been true. It's never been a thing. And Etsy's been telling us to write short titles since 2018. So, all right, lay them quiet. I'm like fired up. You know why? I drank a nootropic. I drank a Gamer Sups right before I hopped on.
Getting going.
Blueberry lemonade. Yeah, it was good.
Any opinions on the new Etsy ads update?
I haven't looked at it yet. This jumped in my way. I was going to look at it. last week so that I could talk about it this week. But
ended up getting busy, and then this jumped out. So.
Yep. So just give me some time, or I'm not a good Etsy ads person anyway. I don't like Etsy ads, man. I've used Etsy ads, but you guys know my strategy for Etsy ads. It's very Etsy abs. Etsy ads. It's just relatively simple. Make sure that you're advertising your best sellers if you want to make sure that you're making a return on your investment. In terms of the update, just give me a little more time, because like he said, this jumped on my table, and it's like the annoying cat when you're trying to read a book that jumps directly on top of your book. That's what this has been in my mind.
I always write personalized ceramic mug in my title, and perhaps should leave out ceramic if it's in materials also. Question mark?
I would do some keyword research and see if ceramic mug is something that shoppers are searching for. I would assume that if someone's looking for a mug, they're less likely to search ceramic and more likely to search for like something like what is on personalized with what. That's what is it a personalized monogram mug, personalized mug with your pet's picture, personalized first name mug, personalized anniversary date mug. I would try to put what the personalization is.
Did they change photo size on the primary pic again?
So we have not gotten anything definite from Etsy as of right now. That's why I did make a video 2 weeks ago where I talk about it. We still haven't heard anything. As of right now, everyone is seeing the long images. Apparently, Etsy's been getting a lot of bad feedback, which, good, because it's awful. Sellers have been given a lot of negative feedback about it. So they haven't, because Etsy hasn't announced anything, major, I wouldn't go and change everything yet. It sucks. It's making our listings look kind of ugly for now, but Etsy hasn't announced a photo switch yet, and I'm not changing anything until they do. It did look like they did put those changes in effect on storefronts. No, these are square. They were long on storefronts, but mine are square. So I don't know.
What about the new tariffs for international sellers? What specifically do you want to know? Because that's just general. I don't want to. Our whole live stream last week was about tariffs.
Yeah,
so if you have a specific question, I can answer those, but I'm not going to go into like semantics of tariffs.
Yeah, we spent like 2 hours last week talking about tariffs, and we had slides and a whole presentation. Mm-hmm. So
they're dumb. They're dumb. They hurt everyone. They're not good for anything.
Right. What about them? We don't like them.
Yeah. What specifically do you want to know? I'm cool answering questions about them, but if it's just what about them, they're dumb.
They're dumb.
There you go. I sell sticker sheets. The AI monsters suggest bedroom sheets to buyers when I check my listings incognito. That's funny. Should I remove the word sheets from titles? If you're selling sticker sheets, I don't think so.
What are your attributes listing you as, stickers? Because Etsy should be prioritizing what you've listed in your attributes. I wouldn't, honestly, I wouldn't remove the word sheets. That to me doesn't sound like an algorithmic thing. Instead, what I would do is go into eRank if you have an eRank account, and go into the rank checker tool and type in sticker sheet and see where you rank for that term. And then I would go in and I would type in, what did you say, bed sheet? I would do that and see if you rank within the Etsy algorithm organically for the word like bed sheet, just to see. I wouldn't change it. I wouldn't make any changes.
If the words are all different, wouldn't it be a little better? I don't know specifically what you're referring to.
If the words were all different?
If the words are all different, wouldn't it be a little better? No other context.
Do you mean like not repeating words? We talked about that.
Yeah, for the most part, you should try to not repeat words unless you have to, or you absolutely want to exact match for something that contains the same word more than once.
If you've got like a really great exact match term, then yeah, you could repeat a word, but it's not necessary because Etsy will broad match.
I know y'all have the Handmade Alpha Academy waiting for December 1st. Do you offer consultations to individual Etsy shops outside of the Academy? No, we do not.
Unfortunately, my time, like, you guys see how, like...
It would cost you as much, if not more, than the course. It's just wait for the course.
Yeah, because then you can consult with me anytime you want. You can just email me anytime. I'll look at your shop.
We've got a lot of people already kind of buying her time at the moment.
Oh, man. A lot
of it's unpaid, but it is what it is.
I'm doing all kinds of stuff right now, y'all.
Dude, behind the scenes, you guys would be like getting on her for how much she does.
Hey,
her free time, her fun time is usually also work that she does for fun. The whole extra Etsy shop that she did, I'm going to start a shop and it's just going to be for fun. And then it turned into work. So
I know. And
everything she does, every hobby she has is work. She's like, I'm going to get into reading. Oh, I like reading a lot. I'm going to make reading products. I'm going to make themed products for readers. And it's like, stop, bro.
I know. And then I do the Etsy shop for fun and people are like, Starla only has 235 sales, so she's not qualified to give Etsy advice. I'm like, y'all, can I do anything for fun? Can I make a fun shop? Can I start something new and give it time to do what it does? Like,
Ed said, I can pay. Can you check my shop?
No.
Because it's also the time itself is worth the money. I'm not going to charge you like $3,000 for something we do on YouTube for free, which, by the way, go watch any of our shop critique videos and it will be nearly identical to what you're paying for and absolutely not worth the money.
Yeah, we love you. If I ever do shop critiques, it'll be through like a Patreon or something.
It'll be a bonus thing that we do in addition.
When I have time.
Yeah, when we have free time. Because like right now, we're doing the HAA updates, this new Etsy stuff, and depending on where that goes, it's going to create extra work there. We have to make sure that the course is ready. We just started blogs up on the HAA website, which I'm working on. She's working on.
Don't look at them yet.
Don't look at them. They don't look great yet, but we're placeholders. They're already on the website. You can click blog and go and read. And for the most part, they're breakdowns of our YouTube videos for people that don't have time to watch. There's no ad revenue on there, but we might put ads on it just to see, what happens. We have HAA coming up in December, like I said. We have the boot camp coming up in a couple of weeks. We're leaving for a festival immediately after that, so we have like a week's, maybe 2 weeks worth of work we have to get out of the way in advance. And then we have Amplified immediately following that. And then we have work that we're doing for E-Rank immediately after that. So like I don't have the time.
But I love you so much.
It would not be worth the money to you to buy that time away from her.
I love you so much. They said they were kidding. I appreciate you, though.
That's fine. You're good. We love you. The thing is, you're kidding, but we get this question in our inbox like 4 or 5 times a week. So
I know
it's something that people really ask for. They're like, I'm not afraid to pay. I'm like, I would rather you just give us less money, have the course, and have infinite access to us. Anyway, for our main keywords in our title, for example, Gothic Fairy Purple T-shirt in small, do we duplicate that in our keywords? I would not put in small in my keywords.
You mean your tags? Etsy tells us that everything, like the most important terms, your most important keywords should be in your title and in your tags. So your most important terms, if you're putting them in your title, basically the terms that you have in your title should also be in your tags, but not everything that's in your tags also needs to be in your title. For example, let me pull up. So keep in mind, I am officially licensed. By the way, Sarah Ma's team did get back with us. And
did they?
Yeah, we haven't had any issue. We got to give them an estimate of how much we expect to be sending them each year. But all these people saying that you can't license with them, maybe it's
I think it's because other people haven't had as much success in selling, or any, if that is the case. So and they're just not willing, or maybe they're super busy. They probably have a lot of people they work with.
So this is just a random one from my shop. It's a dog bandana themed around A Court of Thorns and Roses, but most people just use the acronym ACOTAR. So ACOTAR dog bandana, which is the most important thing about my listing. And then officially licensed Sarah J. Maas, that's the author. Night Court merch from A Court of Thorns and Roses. So if we go into my tags, oh, I want to make sure, where are my tags? Tags. There we go. Akatar dog bandana, bookish pet clothing, Sarah J. Ma's merch, funny book talk gifts, bookstagram ideas, Akatar Christmas, A Court of Thorns, and Roses merch, because that's you'll broad match these together. They'll broad match all of this. Pet accessories, bookish dog costume. So again, there's a little bit of repetition of the word dog, but I wanted to try to get an exact match for dog costume. Halloween pet outfit, Mozverse gifts, and Akatar pet. Which that was just, you can tell my last tag always sucks because I'm just at that point experimenting. But, you know, I tried to make sure that what I had up in the top, which was, you know, Akatar dog bandana, and then I had the officially licensed Sarah J. Ma's merch. Did I not have Night Court down there? From A Court of Thorns and Roses. I'll make a little update right now for you. No, Night Court wasn't in there. So I'll make... Look, you guys get to watch an SEO edit live. There you go. That was the only term that wasn't repeated in both. But yes, what's in your title should be the most important, and you should repeat it in your tags. Publish.
Wrap it up.
Wrapping it up.
Wrap it up.
I did.
Okay. Is 32 sales with 5 listings good? I've been open since early 2024. That's success as a mindset.
Yeah, if you were selling $1,000 coffee tables, I would say absolutely. If you're selling 50-cent sticker sheets, I would ask you what your idea of success is, and if you're happy with how many sales you've made. There's no appropriate answer to that question. There's so much additional context needed. Growth is growth. What I'd be more curious to hear about is, when were those sales, and are you noticing an increase? Are you doing a little better? And are the sales, you know, were they spread out at first and now you're gaining momentum? That's what matters, is momentum. Did you make all those sales, you know, last year and now you're not making any? Well, then I would say probably not. You probably need to, you know, make some changes. So it entirely depends.
Any plans on eRank developing an app? My laptop just died and I'm working from my iPhone today.
The problem with an app is that our tables don't look good on an app. That's literally why we don't have an app.
Yeah, unfortunately, they just don't. Imagine trying to, like, read a spreadsheet on a phone. It just doesn't. It would be so inconvenient and difficult. And then taking that data and having to, like, remember what you're looking at as you, like, switch apps to the other thing to try to, like, like, that's just maybe someday, but somebody's gonna have to have some like real good design ideas on how to make that work. But I wouldn't get my hopes up.
For our free eRank users, I did forget to mention this. By the way, the basic plan is gone. So if you're on basic, you know, we talked about a little while ago, we didn't want to get rid of it, but we had to. It was only meant to be temporary anyway, to kind of lessen the hit when during the pandemic for business owners. If you're on a basic plan, just don't cancel it. You're grandfathered in. If you cancel it, you won't be able to get it back, but you're good as long as you're still on it. But I did want to say that free users, in the next few days, hopefully, probably not over the weekend because our dev team doesn't work on weekends, but in the next few days, we're hoping to increase the quotas on, I won't say what tools because I want to make sure that they are, you know, in agreement. But we're going to increase the quotas on some tools to help you if you're wanting to do stuff with your titles, basically. If you got listings that aren't doing well and you want to, you know, if you want to keep an eye on things, some of our tracking type tools, that way you can keep an eye on things. So if you mess something up, you can fix it. We're going to try to increase the quotas for free users.
Is it okay or even helpful to put one of a kind in your title when an item is one of a kind? Or do shoppers even care?
I actually just saw one of a kind trending in eRank on Wednesday. The word one of a kind.
So I think this is going to be product dependent.
Yeah, really. Because I've searched for one of a kind items before.
Like,
Let me
if
look.
it's a one-of-a-kind item in an industry where there's a million different versions of the exact same product that are basically one-of-a-kind, I don't think it matters as much. But if it's like, I think if vintage, I think this can apply to really well. Like if it's a one-of-a-kind vintage item, or if it's like a bougier item, more expensive stuff, one-of-a-kind tends to be. But I mean, this is going to be best judgment. I don't think there's any harm in putting one-of-a-kind in your listings,
Let's take a
as
look.
long as it's honest.
We'll go into the, you can go ahead and share my screen. Let's go
We
into,
have a lot of questions, so try not to spend too much time on it.
no, that's fine. Let's do oak. Oop, that's oak. And one of a kind. Let's look. Because that makes sure, that is a unique term that you could, oh, okay. Doesn't look like we're getting, these are just probably gaps in data. Oak is definitely not one that shoppers are searching as heavily for. So, it's up to you. The searches, there aren't a lot of searches, but at the same time, it's kind of like a little, it's like a novelty term. I wouldn't front load your title with it. How about that? I would make sure that what your item is at the beginning of your title, so that little snippet, this little snippet right here that shoppers see, make sure that one of a kind's not showing up there. You want to make sure that it's showing what, what your item is or what's important, the words that people need to know. But maybe towards the back of the title for when, somebody clicks on the listing, they'll be able to see it back here. Might not be a big deal.
Yeah, it's hard to tell whether or not
Experiment
it's
with
beneficial.
it,
Yeah, it can't hurt.
No, it won't hurt you. Definitely not.
How do you add the price of tariffs to your items for international customers? So,
you can't on Etsy.
well,
right?
no. So what they're asking, just for those of you who aren't aware, companies that sell things don't pay the tariffs. The buyer pays the tariffs. Sorry for anybody who bleeds red, but that is a fact. When it comes to at any kind of price manipulation, when it comes to your products, what you're going to be doing if it costs you 50, if you basically are adding the increase in the cost of your supply to the output. So if it costs you $100 to make a product, and I know that's way higher than most people, but if it costs you $100 to make your products, and for whatever reason, whatever country, say you get like some kind of wood from Australia that only grows there, and you're paying a 50% tariff, and now you're paying $150 for that wood, you're gonna raise your prices by the cost. So if it costs you $100 to make, and now it costs you $150 to make, and say you were selling it for $1,000, now you're going to sell it for $1,500. You don't have to necessarily increase it by that percentage. If it costs you $50 more, add $50 to the listing. It's going to vary depending on what you sell, how expensive your products are, depending on the materials. I know some materials like steel and whatnot, the rules are a little bit different. So it's going to be up to you to depend on. If you're the kind of person that just buys all your supplies from like a craft store, keep track of how much you're spending for the things that you're repeatedly buying, and then increase by whatever the cost is to increase. Now, if it's a couple cents, it would probably behoove you to just keep your products where they are and not adjust your prices for the sake of accommodating it. It sucks to eat that couple extra pennies. But I'm on the side of not making your customer pay for stupid decisions of countries. So just add the increase of what you pay to your products. At the end of the day, that's all you got to do. It's not as complicated as it sounds. You can add percentage. I wouldn't add percentage. I would just add the increase of overall product. My thumbnails on the app are all kinds of sizes. It's crazy. Dude, Etsy doesn't know what it's doing.
Let me see what mine look like today. Mine seem to change all the time.
To ship DDP, we need to add the tariff to our prices. Yes. Here's the thing. It's going to be different for every country with a tariff. So we're not going to cover that stuff. At the end of the day, for most of you, if you're in like Europe or wherever, anywhere that has a tariff and you're going to be doing DDP shipping, or you're going to be, collecting that tariff up front, that's going to be on you to figure out what the percentages are and keep up on that. That's just part of running a business. It's no different than like GDPR or any other privacy regulations. Like, it doesn't matter if you don't know. It's 100% up to you to keep up with it. So just make sure you're using it. You have tools that can help you break this stuff down, AI tools and whatnot. We'll get to more questions about it later on, but
Listing photos on mobile are back to rectangles.
And it's probably going to be different depending on operating system and phone too, so it's inconsistent. But we have a lot of questions.
Okay, yeah, they're back to these size rectangles now. So,
what's a good percent for discount? I use 12%. They push 25%.
You should always, if your item is under $100, customers tend to not pay attention to any discounts that are lower than 15%. I don't know. I can't cite the psychology on that specifically, but you could do some research into it. 15% tends to be when customers pay attention. After that, their attention tapers off unless the purchase is above $100, and then 10% becomes a little bit more significant, for example. So if possible, but you can only do what you can do. Or, if you know that you want to be able to offer, 15% or 20% of, in the future, maybe for holidays and special occasions, make sure that you price with discounts in mind. You should always price with a little bit of wiggle room so that you can offer discounts. And if you need to increase your prices permanently so that you're able to run things like little sales or participate in Etsy's holiday events, then do that. Because, you should be able to offer occasional sales and discounts if you want to, and you shouldn't be taking a huge financial hit for doing so.
So Kay said, but if you add the tariff to your prices, your price goes up and then so does the tariff. You selling to another country, unless they have a reciprocal tariff, do not pay an increase. If you sell to, if let's say Australia has a 50% tariff, let's assume, I don't know if they have a reciprocal tariff. Let's assume they don't have a reciprocal tariff. If you buy something from Australia, they have a 50% tariff. You're going to pay 50% of the value of the total purchase for the product. So $100 is now $150. Assuming they don't have a reciprocal tariff, you will not pay 50%, or they will not pay 50% more. That is not how tariffs work. That's why I keep telling people to be real careful about what they listen to on the news, because
she's in the UK.
I know. If you raise your prices for your customers because you have to, let's assume that you're in the UK and you have a tariff that is expensive because you're buying something from another country and you have a reciprocal tariff, you're adding that percentage to your price, that it's not your problem. I hate to say that. It's not your problem that your customer on the other side has a tariff. If you are someone selling to a tariff country and you're already paying a tariff, I'm going to use US for example, because I don't know how things work in other countries. But if you're in the US and you're selling to a country that has reciprocal tariffs and they're going to pay a tariff on you selling to them, that's not your problem. Unfortunately, that sucks. And it's the same thing that applies here. If you're mad that you have to pay an increased price for a product, write your congressman, because it's what the people have voted for, and that's how tariffs work. You're going to pay more money from things that come from tariff countries. That's how that works. You pay it, not the company sending it to you.
Well, we've got tariffs, like we've talked about it all last week. Can we skip out on tariff questions?
Yeah, because it's super duper complicated. We can only really answer questions coming from the United States. I don't live in other countries. Reciprocal tariffs get complicated. The fact of the matter is, here in the United States, you can look up a list of the countries. If you buy from any of those countries, you look at the percentage next to it, that's the increase that you're going to pay. That's it. There's no semantics to it. That's how that works.
And she said I have to ship
DDP, so you have to charge the tariffs before shipping in advance. What we were referring to was the cost of supply to produce a product in a country that pays a tariff. So if we buy from Australia and it costs us $50 more, I got to add that $50 onto my product cost. That's what I was referring to.
Yeah.
And reciprocal tariffs in other countries, I can't help you with that. If we were to do that, it would take years of just sitting through, and every country has tariffs and half of them have reciprocal tariffs. And it's so complicated. If you live in a country that sells to the United States, you got to add, if you're doing DDP shipping, you got to add that to your whatever, to the cost of your product for the DDP. I understand that. That's beyond my scope. I don't live there. I'm sorry. I really wish I could answer more questions. I hate not being able to answer them accurately for you, but we can't learn the rules for everybody.
Yeah. Everybody's kind of stuck right now.
Yeah, there's a lot of, and like Diane said, there's a lot of misinformation about tariffs, and unfortunately, the majority of it's coming directly from the people that are making the tariffs. They're directly lying to
Right.
people, and it sucks. It really sucks. But again, that's why I tell people, educate yourself before you vote. I sell pre-made gift packs of handmade items, so is it a ding against me if I have gift in the title, even though it's a key feature of the listing?
No, there's no dings.
There's no dings, and Etsy up until this was telling people to put gift in their listings because they want to make the platform more giftable.
And yours are gift packs. It's not. There are no dings. Etsy's just saying that it's not. If it's a gift, you don't need to have vague like gift for dad, gift for mom, gift for grandma, a gift pack, a gift basket, gift wrap. The word gift, it's not a banning of the word gift. That's not what this is. Etsy's just saying it's not necessary to have a gift recipient in there. But I doubt that we're going to see any negative come from leaving them in there. I can, like I said, we have about a 99.9% certainty that the algorithm has not changed.
Once you finish experimenting and testing and get a handle on what Etsy's doing and how it works with a new update, will you do your step-by-step video tutorials on how to figure out exactly what to do when listing? Like your SEO videos. Are you going to do an updated SEO video based on the new information once we figure it out?
Yeah. I do it. I update my general how to do Etsy SEO video usually once a year. I don't think I did this year just because nothing changed with best practices up until now. But yeah, I absolutely will. And then obviously Handmade Alpha Academy students, and Lorenzo, you guys are in HAA. For now, what I'll probably do for HAA is I'll add just a patch note in module 7 lesson, it's like 2.1 through 2.7 or something ridiculous because the SEO lessons are so long. Whichever video it's applicable to, I'll add a patch note in there, just letting, you guys know. But I don't think that there's any harm in doing, some gift recipient related research. It's just I will be going in probably early 2026 and re-recording all the SEO videos. Just because I do that anyway. But that update, since this isn't something, unless we hear back from Etsy. Now, if we hear back from Etsy and, my 99.9% certainty is totally wrong, then
we'll tell you what is correct.
Right. I'll tell you immediately, and I'll immediately get an HA patch video up and get videos up here on YouTube.
I don't have the new title tool yet.
Okay. Yeah. I haven't seen anybody who has it.
At one point, can we address the mess around anxiety, ADHD, autism? Etsy deactivates listings from mentioning them.
So I'm waiting. Juliana, I'm waiting because we do have a couple students experimenting. We're getting so many mixed signals from Etsy. I actually plan to make my video on that, hopefully not this upcoming Tuesday, but the Tuesday after, because I'm hoping that by then we have a more definitive answer by then. So far, though, I believe, another student who sells stickers was told that it's fine because the product couldn't be misinterpreted as like a medical device. It's the stress toy related items and fidget toy related items that reference ADHD and stuff. So I'm wondering if it's more context specific, where toys could be considered as like medical devices with promises attached, whereas like a shirt that says like ADHD mom or something, autism mom, that those might be okay because Etsy knows that those are shirts and not medical devices. But I don't know. I have no way to know until a seller comes to me and says, hey, I sell stickers and my listing got shut down. So I just need a little more time to tinker.
Is the whole issue with EU shipping still a thing? I think they're talking about their postal strikes that they were having. Is that what you're referring to?
I'm not sure.
Because I know they were having postal strikes for a hot minute.
I don't know.
I'm not sure.
Or do we mean what was it? Having the representative and all that.
Yeah.
That kind of got blown to the wayside, didn't it, with tariffs?
Well, I mean, Europe's kind of got a stick up their butt right now.
Everybody does, man.
No,
Everybody
yeah,
does.
we've got a stick up our butt here. They've got their own big anti-free speech stick up their butt right now.
Yeah,
There's a whole lot. The world's a crazy place. We don't know.
Yes, nothing has been said that would indicate that it's not still a thing, but it's kind of strange that nobody's talking about it anymore. So, anyway.
Can you put blank phrases like blank inside for a card on attributes or just materials?
Attributes are different than materials? What do you mean by attributes? Are drop-down menus that you pre-select. You don't get to just fill those out like by hand. So you're probably not thinking of attributes. You're probably thinking of materials. And materials, you're literally supposed to put what the item is, what it is.
Yeah, GPSR.
So blank, you could put like blank card, I guess, in your materials. I would even put blank inside in my title and tags if I were you. Those sound like pretty good keywords, because someone who's shopping for a card that's blank inside is different than somebody shopping for a card that has like a cute little poem in it. So I would put it, but it's not an attribute. It's a material, maybe. It's not really a material, is it? Probably wouldn't hurt. It's not going to hurt you either way.
GPSR, most of us in UK cannot sell to Europe.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, the whole thing sucks. Over here, I just think people don't care. Like, what are they going to do? Come over here and pour hot tea on us? That was a joke, by the way.
You can't offend the Brits.
Yeah, you can.
You can't offend the Brits.
You absolutely can. You just tell them that they have no unique culinary options.
Not now. Gordon Ramsay's a wonderful Brit.
Mm-hmm.
He's very unique.
Biscuits are biscuits, not cookies. Anyway.
You guys know that our best friend is in the UK, so...
Fight me, mate. Why wouldn't you just make a copy of your listings and not change your listing to test it out? Also because we're going into the holidays.
I said that.
Yeah.
I literally said to do that.
Well, I mean, you talk a lot, and I don't.
Well, that's why we're here. We're here to talk. That's why they come That's why there's 381 of them here. They're here to listen to me talk. By the way, while you're listening to me talk, download this video. There's a couple goodies. First of all, go get free tickets to Amplified. We're doing a little competition to see who can send the most people to Amplified. And if you sign up with my link, you will get your tickets. You'll get, if there's a replay, if you can't make it live, you'll get, the link will be sent to, whatever email you sign up with. There's going to be like giveaways, and I believe they're doing like Q&A sessions like they did last year. It's going to be a lot of fun. I'm going to be doing a virtual version. I'm not actually going to be there in person this year because I cannot fly to Latvia again. But I'm going to be talking about trends and trend research. So those are things that are applicable even if you don't sell POD. So sign up for that down below. There's also a bunch of free stuff. I've got free SEO ebooks. I've got free SEO courses down below. I've got a free Instagram challenge kit to grow your Instagram account before the holidays. I got a bunch of stuff down there for you guys.
I saw your email about the upcoming boot camp. Yeah. Is the content pre-recorded or are there live streams as a part of that? So the last day is a live stream. However, it is replayable. So if you're not there, you just won't get to answer or ask questions.
Yeah. It's all pre-recorded, and this year it's going to be more like pre-recorded webinar style. In the past, all the video, well, I won't say all the videos, but most of the videos have been, pre-recorded and edited, and they're like fancy YouTube videos. You know what? This year, we're doing it with the eRank team. We're getting down and dirty with the data. It's probably going to be the most jam-packed boot camp that we've done so far in terms of, helping you guys. And Anthony's even going to make sure that his sessions include this new title stuff and his findings. For the most part, we're just turning on a camera and sitting live together, and we're just recording stuff. We're not going to overly edit everything like we normally do. So it's going to be very webinar-ish.
Andrew said that's an unkind thing to say to someone. She talks a lot. I don't know what you want me to say.
Who, me?
Yeah. I wasn't referring to her talking a lot as a human being. I meant that there's a lot of... No,
it's going to start again.
Shut your pie hole.
You shut your pie hole.
Shut your pie hole.
It's going to
I was referring to the fact that there's a lot of different questions, so I don't even know what the context was of what she was talking about. That's what I meant by that. And even if we've been married for 15 years, I don't care.
You're unkind, Mr. Moore. Now you're going to get more Reddit posts about how abusive you are.
I'm so abusive. I'm not abusive, dude. If you were to see me in person, I am like the best husband of anyone ever. So eat my butt.
He's
with a side of biscuits and gravy, mate.
Anyway, he made the most wonderful gourmet meal last night for me and his mom.
And my mom. My mom came over and I cooked us Wagyu steaks, gourmet mashed potatoes, and made a shrimp ceviche with homemade crisps as an appetizer. So eat a butt. Anyway, I don't know if they're a married couple, but they're so cute. I hope to one day have a partner into whatever I am into.
Oh, that was we had a nice one.
We're not. We're just friends with benefits, but we were pretend that we're married.
We met when we were teenagers, and we still talk like we are. Yeah. People misunderstand our banter.
We're from the Midwest, dude. We just curse at each other. That's how we exist.
People because I put on my nice face when I'm on YouTube. I'm mean to him wait. When we do Twitch again, we're going to start doing Twitch again, and you guys are going to quickly see how mean I am to him when we're, in a normal, not educational setting. Let's get back to
You're a little moody, but that's hot. My guy's moody pants hottie, too. I'm not moody. I quit taking SSRIs like 3 days ago, and I go from, crying to happy to angry in, 5 minutes.
It's okay, boo.
It is what it is.
What did you cried yesterday because a music video made you emotional?
Yeah, dude, it's crazy. Anybody ever stop their SSRIs? I'm sorry, geez, never mind. Yeah, you are sorry. Be sorry. See, that's what we're talking about. That's a joke.
He's kidding.
I'm kidding. Except I'm not. Go away.
No.
See?
He's extra spicy. We made the announcement at the beginning that Mr. Moore is extra zesty today. He's a spicy meatball.
Would you redo your titles if your shop is very slow to get sales? No, I would not.
Well, no, if your listing isn't doing well, would you redo your titles? Sure. If the listing's not performing, then yeah, make some changes. You can't break what's already broken, So make some updates. I mean, update your photos too while you're at it, because it might not be the SEO that's the problem. I've actually got a video on my channel where I talk about the order of operations that I recommend for if a listing isn't selling. And it's going to, it's going to help you to decide what to do.
I'm assuming you don't understand context clues, but goodbye.
Do you have the brain zaps? He does.
I do. I actually just had one about 5 minutes ago, and the tinnitus in my ear has been screaming this entire live stream, so.
And then everybody's mean to him.
I don't care. No, you can't offend me. Off topic, which were your favorite nootropics? I don't remember what we used to recommend, but honestly, man, just a scoop or two of gamer subs, it's enough.
I can't even tell you my favorite flavor.
Which ones?
The milk one.
Oh, yeah. Lady Udder, the real word for that, milk. That one's really good. That one's actually not the best one. The pineapple.
Just the gamer subs.
Which one? What's the pineapple one called? Do you remember the name for that one?
Just pineapple. It's just the gamer. Their original, not sponsored one.
Okay, yeah, that one's good. The blueberry lemonade, the BBL, that one's really good.
And the emotional damage.
That one's okay.
I like it.
The guacamole gamer fart 9000. That one was really good.
Nobody
people are going to be like, what are they talking about?
Nobody on our stream wants to drink guacamole gamer fart.
I recommend them. They're really good.
That's when I need a little pick-me-up. Nootropics, I mean, they help your brain chemistry. They make your headspace a little bit more open, and they help with more focus.
Yeah, they meant with focus.
Yeah, and I mean, if you don't want to drink weird things meant for video gamers, you can just take nootropics.
No, we're not mad at you, by the way, Manders. No. Again, everything I have said to you has been a joke.
No.
Anyway, don't worry about it. We're kind of at the end anyway. We only have about 2 minutes left, so I'm trying to. People asking me if I weaned off. No, I tried weaning off. If any of you don't know, since we're at the end here, if any of you don't know, I had the flu in March. Yes. In March, and immediately following the flu, the day afterwards, I woke up with the worst panic attacks. And like to the
Curled
point
up in a ball
to
on the couch.
yeah, curled up in a ball, and I could not move. Like moving was physically painful. So after like a week and feeling like nearly unalive feeling, I had her take me to the ER just because I could not cope with it anymore.
Yeah.
We've been chasing what the solution is since March. I also thankfully at the time had a testosterone test that came back low, and I've been hounding my doctor to get more tests done. And of course, he's one of those doctors who's like a throw pills at it problem kind of guy. So he put me on SSRIs thinking that maybe it was a mental thing, even though I told him I'm good up here. Like I'm a hippie. Like I'm up here is where the only place where I'm good. So the test came back and my DHEA was low. I'm not going to get into all the semantics about that, but we think that I had no cortisol buffer. I started taking DHEA over the counter, immediately started to see an improvement. Didn't permanently take it away, but if anybody, I was on citalopram. There's a 36-hour-ish window before you start getting withdrawals. So I just kind of beta tested, not taking it for a day, and my panic attacks were immediately gone. So that's likely. We're switching doctors because I found the solution before he found the solution, but I'm seeing an endocrinologist to confirm those results, but that's likely it. But I tried weaning about a month ago, and I don't know why, but the process of weaning made the panic attacks worse, not better, and just hard stopping. I was only on 10 milligrams. I wasn't on a huge dose.
And that's what I take. I'm on 10 milligrams and have been for a year, and it's the best decision I've ever made for myself. But for him, it just made everything so much worse. And it really sucks that it helped me so much. And the exact same medication at the exact same dose,
What is DHEA? It is a testosterone precursor, and it is also one of the hormones responsible for helping buffer your cortisol, your stress hormones. My cortisol is fine. My DHEA was virtually not. There basically wasn't any in me, and that I think is what was causing the problem. I had normal amounts of stress hormones, but nothing to fight it. So yeah. So I started taking just 5 milligrams of DHEA over the counter, and within 10 minutes of the first dose, saw an immediate difference. And then I stopped my SSRIs, and it stopped. Did a chatbot help you investigate this? I have been working with ChatGPT since March to figure out this problem because my doctor just was like, here's an SSRI. We're not going to do any tests.
Have a pill.
So we went from thinking that it was like splenic fissure because I had a pressure here and that made sense. But now we're leaning towards an adrenal gland issue because I have like a tension and a pain. And when my panic attacks get really bad right here, literally where my adrenal gland sits. I was a bodybuilder. For those of you who don't know, I was on a team with Mr. Olympia. Like I was a bodybuilder. And I used like grams of caffeine a day along with a bunch of other supplements and things. And I likely just have some adrenal problems, and the flu just sent me over the edge. Again, we don't know if this is 100%, but I'm seeing an endocrinologist in November to confirm that. But I'm better. For those of you who follow me and us and whatnot, I'm getting better. I'm finally I have been in a state of panic attack from the moment I wake up until I go to bed every single day without relent since March.
Last night, I know he's okay because last night his parents left after he made, dinner, and he got us both. We're eating these little sugar-free puddings because we want something sweet at night, but we're dieting. So we got our sugar-free pudding, and he got my pudding, and it was, middle of the night, and he was like, come outside. So I got my little pudding, and he turned off the porch light, and we sat in the dark on the front porch and listened to all the night bugs.
I told you,
I'm dark and ate our pudding.
I'm a hippie, dude. Look how I dress. Look at me. I try to be as much of a hippie as I can. I try to love. I was in the military.
They beat the love out of you
for 6 years, and I hated everything and everyone, dude. I've spent so many years working on myself, and then just had panic attacks every day for this has been the worst year of my life by a immeasurable amount.
And it's crazy because our life, like us and the house and the world,
We're great. Like, we're living a life that's actually relatively nice. Not to brag, but like, I have nothing to be. That's why I told my doctor, like, I've got an appointment with a psychiatrist that I'm definitely canceling, because he's like, well, I think there's a mental aspect to this. And I said, there's definitely not a mental aspect for this. I was like, I'm self-employed. I make my own schedule. I have virtually no day-to-day stress. Like, I don't think so. And thankfully I was wrong. So we're getting a new doctor. But anyway, off that, I'm healthier. I love you guys, and I appreciate all the support that you give to us, because this community is huge for me. I love helping you guys. I love the reception that you guys have, and it really does feel good to me. So I love you.
Do you guys, just out of curiosity, we've been talking about it for a while, and now
God, my head hurts.
Now that he's feeling a little, well, yeah, now that he's feeling better, aside from his head hurting,
my head feels like it's about to explode.
Would you guys like us to restart doing the Twitch thing? We're talking about it. Maybe him gaming or us gaming together, or me, you guys, if for those who watched us when we did Twitch, I would sit and we would play horror games, but I would just watch him game and scream and be scared the whole time.
Yeah, I was thinking about gaming. I actually have Metal Gear coming out next week. I considered streaming that, but I don't know how inappropriate that's going to get. I don't think it's going to be too bad.
We could do, non-game streams. We thought about doing a funny YouTube channel, cooking funny stuff, eating funny stuff. I don't know. I want to do something funny. That's why I wrote a science fiction book a couple years ago.
I hope I can even get into my Twitch account. I don't even remember what the email I used for that was.
I don't know. I know. I do. I know what it is. But yeah, I wrote a science fiction book a few years ago because I'm like, I don't want to just be the Etsy girl. I got other stuff going on up here. I want to engage with people in other meaningful ways than just business. So, hey, let us know and we'll...
If you guys want to follow me on Twitch, I have 200 followers, by the way. Don't know when that happened. I haven't been on Twitch in like a year. If you guys want to follow me to see when I come on, I'll update my schedule probably a week before we decide to stream. It's twitch.tv. Sure, I'll post it in the chat. It absolutely will not be safe for work content or child appropriate. Just so you're aware.
Oh, no. We'll be big old naughty grown-ups on our Twitch stream because
probably intoxicated, and
we did a thing for Halloween. I really want to do Mortuary Assistant again since we didn't get to do it.
It's not as scary the second time around. As the player, it doesn't matter.
I want to do it again. We did a thing called You Spook, You Drink, where we didn't drink anything like super strong. We only did soju because we don't really drink. And soju is very low alcohol, but anytime something scared us, we had to take a drink of soju.
Yeah, it's Professor Prosciutto. They said that name is hilarious. I said, yeah, it's because you're playing this game with Pee-Pee.
Yeah, Pee-Pee.
Professor Prosciutto. And you were...
Dr. Pizza.
Yeah, Pee-Pee and DP.
Yeah, Pee-Pee and DP. Because you would say, I'm Pee-Pee and this is DP. We're Pee-Pee and DP.
Yeah.
Dr. Pizza. Professor Prosciutto. Anyway, guys.
Yeah, we love you. We love you guys.
Thanks for hanging out. We appreciate you. For the 300 people who stuck around. What are you doing with this is how you spend your Friday, listening to us? I don't know how it happened. My mom would be shocked if she tuned in right now and is like, why are these people listening to my crazy daughter?
Because they're awesome people and they want to be successful and they want to be self-employed and they want to try to make their lives better.
And we hope
that happens to you. It won't happen to everybody. We're the only people in the coaching space that'll tell you like your chances are a lot lower than what you probably assume, but it doesn't mean that you can't earn extra income on top of what you're already getting or help a struggle stop being a struggle.
Hey, to me, success isn't being $1 million business. Success is, Mark and I live in a teeny tiny little house, but it's paid off. To me, that's we can buy groceries. Yep. That's success to me. Success is my daughter wants a silly mask up at Spirit Halloween, and I'm just like, sure, whatever. I'll buy it for you. That, to me, is success. So if that's your idea of success, hopefully we hope you get one step closer to that. Friday but, guys,
night.
We appreciate you.
We just might.
Are you all right?
Yeah, somebody said Friday night.
Oh, okay.
So I was singing the song. We love you guys. We'll see you next week.
Bye.
Bye. I don't know which one's the button. Here it is. Bye.
Thank you.